Welcome back again. In this lesson we're going to tie in the notes from the three-finger scale pattern with the notes from the pentatonic scale. I'll show you how to combine both scales to make up some very interesting leads. Now, I'm at the 5th fret on the 6th string, and I'm just going to show you briefly an outline of the pentatonic scale. In the key of A minor, we have a root note, or main chord note here on A, and we also have another A on the 1st string. So here's our pentatonic scale. And pentatonics, as you may recall or you may already know, require a lot of bends to fill the scale out, because there's only 5 notes in the scale. So typically, a lot of bending takes place for the purpose of embellishing your phrases. Now also, around here, where our pentatonic scale is, and where our bar chord for A minor is, barring at the 5th fret, is also our three-finger scale pattern, using pattern 1. Here's the root note of A, but we use 3 notes per string. So here's our pattern 1. And as you can see, conveniently, the scale pattern itself cuts right across where the pentatonic lies. So it's actually quite interesting if you combine the 2 scales together and make up combinations of phrases using those 2 scale patterns. Now, in a minute, I'm going to give you a demonstration of how to combine these 2 phrases. I'll be playing over the A minor 7 and the D7 progression. Here we go. Pentatonic, 3-finger scale. 3-finger scale, pentatonic. Now, once again, I'm at the 5th fret, my 1st finger on the 3rd string, just showing you where your pentatonic scale is. There's a simple 3-note pattern, and here's a bend. There's a nice little melodic phrase for us to work with. Now, if you wish to combine some notes from the 3-finger scale, I think it's a good idea if we start on the 3rd string. So we'll start with this 3-note pattern, go to a bend, drop down, go to the 5th fret, and here's your first little phrase you can try. Drop your 1st finger back to the 4th fret and do a hammer-on and pull-off. And then continue along to the 5th fret, 4th string, and little finger on the 7th fret, 5th string. So it would sound like... And we can also try coming back this way in reverse sequence, starting on the 7th fret, like this, and then 3rd string, 7th fret, middle finger, 5th fret, 1st finger, 4th fret, back to the middle, 5th fret, pick, pull off, and wind up on the main root note of A on the 4th string, 7th fret. So that last phrase was pull off, and the whole thing. Now, when you're playing with different types of beats, you may have to modify the timing of the notes I've shown you. I'll put some backing music on and you can hear what I'm talking about. Slightly different timing. Again. You can gradually mix these up as you go. Here's another one we can try. I've got my little finger on the root note of A, 7th fret, 4th string, and from pattern number 1, I can play these notes. As you can see, that's part of the pattern itself. There, so I'm just starting with the A on the 7th fret, 4th string. We climb up, 4th fret, 3rd string, 5th fret, 3rd string, 7th fret, 3rd string, and 5th fret, 2nd string with our index finger. Now when you get to here, if you want to go into pentatonics, that's ideal for bending with all 3 fingers squashed together to aid and assist with our bending on the 3rd string. So we could do... And one of the things I should point out to you is it's very important to use the appropriate finger for the scale pattern that you're in. For example, if you go to here, you don't really want to bend using these 3 fingers. Or if you intend to bend, you really want to make sure that your 3rd finger is there so that you're lined up to play any kind of phrases within the pentatonic scale. You don't want to find yourself in an awkward situation where you end up with your little finger here and then you try and bend the string. So we can try this as an exercise of combining the 3-finger scale pattern with a pentatonic. So we have... Here's the example again. Another example would be to start with these notes, keep climbing and bend the 8th fret here, which takes us into a pentatonic situation in terms of being able to move into the pentatonic scale. So we have the same run from B4 to there, but we continue along and we bend. And a lot of students often inquire as to whether or not one usually does bends with these 3-finger scale patterns. And although the answer is yes, generally speaking, bends are used mostly with pentatonics, but there's nothing wrong with taking the 3-finger scale pattern and simply bending the string up to the next note along. Or if I was on the 1st string, I didn't play a single pentatonic note there. Again. Of course, if I wish to, I can throw in a pentatonic from that point, because my fingers that I would use in the pentatonic scale are the same as the fingers I would use. In this case, the little finger here on the 8th fret of the 1st string would be the same finger I'd use for the 3-finger scale pattern. So if I bend there, once I drop back, I can either play pentatonically or 3-finger scale or diatonically this way. Just to conclude this lesson, I'd like to point out that the place that you usually switch from the pentatonic to the 3-finger scale is at the point where there's a note that is in common both scales. That is, if you're here, this note, that's a fine place to go up into the 3-finger scale here. Or if you're here, on the 5th fret, once again, you can move back nice and comfortably by just sliding your 1st finger. And from here as well, and from here. These 2 notes are featured, this note and this note, on the 5th fret, 2nd and 1st string. They're featured in the pentatonic scale, but they're also part of the 3-finger scale pattern of A minor too. So you can just go to there and then make a switch into the pentatonic, or you can come from the pentatonic then down into the 3-finger scale pattern, like.